Hola family, ¿cómo estás? I hope everybody's doing good tonight. As you can tell, we're making corn tortillas tonight from scratch. Yes, we are. Now, I always thought that making corn tortillas was going to be a hard thing to do until my girlfriend Aisha came by and she showed me how simple they are to prepare. They only take 3 ingredients to make. That's right, 3 ingredients to make. Yes. And then you too and your family can make this stable Mexican dish. Yes. And yes, they're totally gluten-free. They're pliable, easy to fold, so you can fill them with your favorite toppings. So join me in making this delicious and nutritious corn tortillas from scratch. Taco Tuesday will never be the same in your house. Join me. Now family, Masa Harina means corn flour. Okay, unlike traditional cornmeal or corn flour, Masa Harina contains lime. That's the major difference. It contains hydrated lime. And it's going to produce a different product than traditional cornmeal or corn flour. Okay, now Masa Harina comes in a variety of colors. It can come in white, it can come in yellow, and it can come in blue as well. The blue is the most nutritious, of course, the blue cornmeal. Okay, now number 2, your skill set will change over time when making this. So be patient with yourself, okay? It will depend on 3 major factors. 1, how wet the dough is. 2, how the tortillas were pressed. And 3, how the tortillas were fried. So by just any one of those 3 elements, you too can make perfect tortillas time and time again. Okay, family, let's start. Let's dig into this, okay? So first we're going to start by getting our stand mixer, which we have here, and then mixing our Masa Harina, placing our Masa Harina into the bowl. It smells wonderful. Oh my, corn in the house. Okay, and then I'm going to add my salt. And then turn this on just slow, like number 2. And start to mix it up. Yep. So I have my Masa Harina. I have the little pink salt, Himalaya pink salt in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna gradually add water. You always say, well, why do you add water? Well, remember, this water is going to make the masa dough rehydrate. It's also going to give it a better taste, and plus it's going to help bind all the dough together into one cohesive dough. So we're just going to slowly add that water in while we turn up our speed a notch every maybe 10 seconds or so. You see it starting to turn into a ball. Continue adding our hot water. Remember now, this is hot water, not cold. Okay, so we're going to take this out of the mixing board, or the mixing bowl, and then we're going to knead it into one dough about 10 minutes. Let's do that. Yeah, she's making a mess. Yeah. So I'm just going to knead this like I would always do, like I would do if I'm doing a pie crust, do some bread. Even when we did the chapati, you know, you do that. So what I'm doing now I am just going to knead it for about 5 minutes just to make sure it's pliable and soft. You can smell it. It smells wonderful. You gotta get your hands in it, girl, a little bit. The blender did a lot. I mean, the hand mixer. But you gotta get your hands in it at the end of the day. Okay. All right, family. Now, what we're seeing is, once we get through working out this dough like we did, we want to see something. If the dough is too wet and it sticks to your hand, what you would do is you would add a little flour. But you see it's not sticking to my hand. Now, if the dough is too dry and it's crackling in your hand, which is not, then you would add some more of the hot water. That's what we did earlier. So we got the consistency we're looking for, okay? Family, I'm just going to place this in a bowl and let this sit here for about 20 minutes and hang out. And then we'll come back and then we'll roll out these tortillas. Okay, come on back now. Okay, now family, I forgot to tell you that what I did was I left a damp cloth over here so that way the mixture wouldn't dry out. Okay, so let's always remember that. Put that dry, a wet, semi-wet towel, okay, over it. That way it won't dry out, okay? All right, so now we're going to begin making our tortilla balls of dough. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to grab my little handy scooper, cookie scooper, and I'm going to get me some dough in my hand, and I'm going to measure it out. That's why I can have perfect tortillas every time. Every time. Okay, that's about right. And then I'm going to just take that out of there and roll that into a ball. Fair enough. So I'm going to just cover it again with my little damp cloth. That's because I don't want my dough to dry out, y'all. You do all this work, you don't want to mess it up, okay? You want to do the right thing. So I'm going to pinch out a little more. Always keeping my mixture covered. Because again, we're trying to prevent drying. If it dries, it's going to crack. If it's cracked, it won't fold. If it folds, it ain't going to be no good. So let's do this. Okay, family. As you can see, we still got quite a bit more dough. So this is like another, I say at least 2 to 3 dozen worth. For real, because that's 1 dozen. I think that's about 3 dozen altogether. So we were, you can always roll these out, put them in the press, and then put them between wax paper, and then freeze them in the bag. And it can be good for weeks at a time. Yep. Okay. So let's go in. So now we're going to start pressing out our tortillas. What I like to do, this is a metal tortilla press. They have all kinds, but I like the metal ones best. I like to take a plastic. And the plastic is there to keep the tortillas from sticking to the actual press. Okay? And then the paper is to actually be able to take them and take them off sort of like you would do like a hamburger slab, to be honest. Yeah. And you put it on the grill. This is the same fashion. So you're just going to place it in there, put the 2 pieces in there, and then put it toward the middle. Why toward the middle? Because you want when it presses down that it's pressing center out instead of one side. So I like to do that and press it down just slightly and then fully press it down. Let's see what we have here. Let's pull it up. And there you go. What we call these is miniature street tacos. So I'm just going to put it in the rag under the, of course, the moist rag. Why? So it doesn't dry out before I fry it. And then we'll continue on. So that's all of our tortilla mix. See how simple that was to do? You just really want to, again, we want to make sure a couple of things are right when we're doing this. And that's what we're making sure of first, that the dough that we make is wet enough. And we did. You saw it didn't stick to our hands. Okay? And it wasn't too dry. And then second, we want to make sure we press it right, which we did. And now finally, we want to make sure we cook it right. And at the right temperature and the right time. Time and temperature is everything. So come back and we'll do that. Okay, now family, I got this cast iron skillet. This cast iron skillet, and I got it on like a medium high. Okay, now what we want to do is, remember this skillet is going to be no oil, no fat. That's not how you do this. These are, you just put them straight in. So what I'm going to do is, this is a trial. If this can pull off on its own, that means we good to go. And it did. So that's what I did. And then I'm going to turn this over and lay it flat onto my pan. And then I'll let that cook for like 1 to 2 minutes on each side till it starts to puff up, and then I'll turn it over. And that's the process. Okay. That's it. Take it out. Put it in the old bowl. But remember, it's steaming in that bowl, so it's going to make it more pliable. And when we pull from the bottom to the top. Okay, they say when a performance is well done, they say ole. Let's say ole, family. Okay, in closing, family, remember to be patient with yourself when you're making these corn tortillas. Practice is going to make perfect, okay? Okay, just love on yourself. You'll get it. Now, these gluten-free treats can be filled with your family favorites. You can fill it for your tacos. You can use them to make your enchiladas. You can even use them to make tostadas. And you can even use the leftovers to make tortilla chips for your nachos. Now, we believe in zero waste around here. You know we vegans. We don't waste. And finally, you can even freeze these tortillas if you need to. All you have to do is get you some wax paper and put each tortilla that after you rolled it out and pressed it in the tortilla press in between those wax papers. And then put those wax papers into a Ziploc bag, and you can freeze it for up to 30 days. Again, we here at Sisters Vegan would like to thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us while we make delicious and nutritious food. Remember, family, health is always wealth. Y'all come back now.